to remind ourselves of our top three, who are the owner-driver, Albon, and Valtteri Bottas. And if today's practice is anything to go by,
Fantastic. You've got pole.
with qualifying finished, it's time to remind ourselves of our top three, the owner-driver, Bottas, and Charles Leclerc. With qualifying complete, all that remains is the main event. We'll be live and uninterrupted for the Grand Prix tomorrow, so make sure you join us then.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. Looks like you had a great qualifying session. It must be a relief being that far up the grid. It didn't look like you put much time into practice today. Is there a reason? Great. Well, that's everything.
A circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 metres above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill turn 3. With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. It's the owner-driver in pole position then, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Verstappen, Sebastian Vettel, and Hamilton, Albon, Ocon, Stroll, and Daniel Ricciardo, Gasly, Grosjean, Kimi Raikkonen, and Magnussen, Perez, Kvyat, Lando Norris. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. And Antonio Giovinazzi, Russell, Sainz, Latifi, and Callum Island. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
mate. Nice start. Exit now. You'll be racing as you leave the pits. Go now. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Callum is coming in for his stop. 7 seconds. Was the fastest lap of the race. Keep this up. We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap. Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty. Great job, you've done everything we wanted today.
A fantastic team effort to secure victory here at the Styrian Alps. What do you think it was, Ant, that gave them the edge over the competition today?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
Here comes your top three making their way down to the podium for what can only be described as a fantastic day for Formula One. Let's see what effect this result has had on the drivers' standings. And with today's impressive result, Charles Leclerc steps into the championship lead. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Charles Leclerc showed exactly how to manage yourself out on the track today. He was almost flawless out there. Incredible stuff. All respect to the fans' choice, they fully deserve it. But I just feel that my pick had a little more on their plate, so their ability to keep a cool head and come through for such a strong finish made the difference, at least in my opinion.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, Renault move up the table with another strong performance this weekend. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. How are you feeling after that win? Well, looks like your luck has changed. Things went a lot better than last weekend, didn't they? It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it? Great. Well, that's everything.
just want to remind you to keep an eye on your tyre temperatures, which you can do on the temperature panel of the MFD. We monitor carcass temperature and surface temperature, and you'll get the best performance when they're both inside a normal operating window. Surface temps tend to fluctuate faster, so try a few laps with the data open and get a feel for how to control them.
And with all the cars now over the line, let's see our top three again. Hamilton, Leclerc and Valtteri Bottas. And that's it, practice is officially over.
Good day today. Let's have your take on it. Do you think your teammate was enjoying themselves in front of their home crowd? How do you feel this season is going for you? Is the car competitive? Appreciate your time.
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top three today. Bottas, Hamilton and Charles Leclerc. Goodbye for now then, but we're really just getting started. Make sure to join us again for Lights Out tomorrow.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. How does a car perform in these conditions? Is it an advantage or a disadvantage? What was the secret of your qualifying pace? Do you feel that your teammate put on a good show for the home crowd? Great. Well, that's everything.
All right, I think we can call that a successful qualifying. We should be in with a good chance in the race.
Welcome along then to Great Britain and the Great Silverstone Circuit for today's Grand Prix. The 3.6-mile-long Silverstone Circuit is one of the longest of the season, with 18 corners in the current layout. With average lap speeds reaching around 145 miles per hour, it's also one of the quickest tracks of the year. Watch out for cars taking the right-handers of Abbey and Copse flat out. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn one. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
Well, the throttle goes both ways, Crofty. You've got to have the discipline not to try and win the race on the first lap. So always be prepared to lift early and give those around you more space. Trying to be the last of the late breakers with half a dozen cars around you may pay off from time to time, but it's also a great way to lose your front wing.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Vettel, Alexander Albon, and the owner driver. Sainz, Ricciardo, Ocon, and Lance Stroll, Hamilton, Perez, Kevin Magnussen, and Gasly, Kvyat, Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen, and Roman Grosjean, Russell, Norris, Ireland, and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
We're looking good so far. That front wing, it'll need replacing if it takes too much damage. Careful with the overtakes. That was very risky. We could have received a penalty. in front is 18.1 seconds. Okay, we haven't used both dry compounds yet. We still need to come in and fit the alternate compound. We've only got 2 laps of fuel left. Go, go, go! Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now. Less than a lap of fuel now. The tank is empty. That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
Well, they've done a brilliant job, I must say, under some intense pressure to take a well-earned victory here at the British Grand Prix. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Mercedes are on top form once again after an excellent race weekend. It's great to see them up on that podium once again. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. Charles Leclerc, currently leading the championship standings, extends his lead even further with this result. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
It's got to be Valtteri Bottas, a commanding performance that I think had the audience's eyes glued to him for the majority of the race.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, AlphaTauri's strong weekend allows them to continue their march up the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic week.
So that was an exciting race from our perspective. Let's have yours. It's looking like the championship is already won. Do you think there's still time for this to change? You're surpassing all expectations. Can anything or anyone stop you? Why do you think you weren't as quick as your teammate today? It's your teammate's home Grand Prix. Do you think they enjoyed themselves out there today? Appreciate your time.